All right, so I'm going to start the lecture right now. As I said a little bit earlier, I got good news for people who wanted to add to the class because there's a new section for this class. If you look up the online schedule, you can see the new section number, but you cannot add to it unless you have a permission number. I have the permission numbers with me, so at the end of today's lecture, we can I can just let people sign up for the permission numbers. You can add to the class at that point. If I could not get 22 people to add to the new section, it was not a joke. Like, I wasn't joking that I need people to drop from the current class to add to the new section. But if you have financial aid or some other issues where if you drop from one class, you will end up with some sort of in some situation, don't do it. But if you can get your full refund if you drop from the class and then re-add to the class, you can kind of volunteer and let me know that you can do it. On paper, it doesn't make any difference. It's still going to be the same class. It has the same lecture. All you're doing is to transfer your lab section. So instead of tying into the lab section after the class, you'll be tied into the lab that is before the class. I don't really care. If you want to show up before the class, with in room 152, section C, that's okay with me. If you want to show up, after the class in room 126, that's okay with me too. I just want to make sure that I don't have too many people all showing up, at one particular time or the other. As long as I get about an even number, that's okay. Yep.
What time is the early lab?
The early lab is right before the lecture, so it goes from 5:30 to 6:50. So if that's a more convenient time for you anyway, and dropping from one class and adding to the other one doesn't cause any problems, just let me know by email, and I'll give you the permission number to add to the other section. Yep.
I'm going to be adding to the next section. Can I still show up to the lab after?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep, that would be fine.
Yep. Make sure.
Yep.
Does it allow for scheduling conflicts if I have a class right before this one?
If there's a scheduling conflict, you can get a petition, and we can just kind of explain what it is, and usually that should not be a problem.
Okay.
But it may prevent e-services from letting you enroll until you get the petition done. So you need to kind of look into it. After the class, you'll get a permission number anyway and see if it goes through. If it does not go through, then we'll handle the petition. Right? Are there any other questions? Okay, so if there are no other questions, we do have a few, like 2 or 3 students who, did not come to the class last week, because they did not know that there will be a new section and could not even get onto the wait list, earlier. So I just want to kind of, mention again, how to get the recording for this class. There are 2 days only last week. So to get to the recording, unfortunately, because I forgot to bring my own setup on Tuesday, so the recording of that class is a little bit different. So only for that one time, I was using CCC Confer. So what you need to do is to go to ccconfer.org. So the URL is ccconfer, which means there are 4 C's consecutively. And once you get there, you want to click Archive. Now this is all being recorded, so if you miss the instructions, you can go to YouTube and watch this instruction. So you go to Archives, and it will require you to sign in. It's really kind of slow because that website has always been a little bit slow. So you have to click Teach and Confer because that's where I put my class. And then after that, you can specify the date. So last Tuesday was the 22nd. So we click the 22nd, and then you click Find Archives. And I probably should have picked the...
Right there.
No, it's the 22nd.
Okay.
So the recording date is right here. So you click Archive once we get here. It will require you to, okay. I think I'm still signed in, so if you're not signed in already, it will ask you to sign in. It doesn't really ask you for a password, it just asks you your name and which school you're from. And then it will download download all these Java applets and stuff like that, and then the playback will start. Okay, I'm not going to finish the whole process because there's no need to do it in this class. Okay, so this is how you play back the lecture on last Tuesday. The one that was recorded on last, let me close this first, Thursday is already on YouTube. So what you do with that one is you go to YouTube, and then you look for my channel. So I'm going to sign off first, just so that you can see, what it looks like without, signing in first. So sign out. And then it's really slow. All right, so then you look for some props and locate my channel. You click my channel. If you also have a YouTube account, you can click subscribe, which makes it very easy to find all the video clips. If not, you can just go to browse videos and then go to playlists. And once you get to playlist, you can find cisp310 2013-0124. So that would be the playlist for this class on Thursday. Yep.
Do you have another channel? Because I found a different channel with your name.
Yeah, I have, the other channel is TAUYEUNG, but I stopped using that, some time ago. So, it doesn't have any lecture for
I found a
the past
310
few years.
lecture.
You found some?
Yeah, I found one 310 lecture.
I think I might have uploaded it into the wrong channel that one time.
Yeah, you discussed the function, and this is weird function.
Okay. Yeah, so that's probably just because I forgot, and I uploaded to the wrong channel. This is what it looks like from a CCC Confer. This is the one from last Tuesday. So the audio is a little bit more muffled than the usual because I usually have much better quality in terms of audio. So I'm going to close this. But then the other one, you just click on the playlist because there are 4 clips altogether. Until I clear up all the copyright infringement claims, I would not be able to upload 80 minutes at a time. So I'll have to chop it up into smaller chunks to upload it. So for this one, because it's already in a playlist, all you have to do if you want to play the entire thing, just click play all. It will start from the beginning, and it will automatically end one clip and then start the next one. So that's one way to watch the entire thing. Or if you know exactly where you want, you can click either one of these items and just select the one that you think is the one that you want to access. Are there any questions about locating the video recording or the screen recording of this class? No questions? Alrighty. If there are no questions about that, we'll continue with the discussion of binary operations. And we'll go to Moodle. If you add tonight, if I give you a permission number tonight and you use e-services to add to this class, it won't show up in Moodle right away. You have to wait until tomorrow morning at about 8:30 or so. You should be able to log into Moodle at that point. It's because your enrollment doesn't even show up on my roster until the next morning. So you have to wait until next morning before you can log into Moodle. Now, meanwhile, for those of you who want to kind of access the instruction, but you don't have an account yet, you can still do it by using a guest account. I forgot to let everybody know about the guest account after I set it up, so I'll just go ahead and let people know how to get into it using the guest account. To use the guest account, you locate the class, and then let me look up the password. I cannot remember the password.
It's ASM.
ASM.
It's ASM? Okay. So you just type ASM as the password when you try to log in as a guest. That will let you in. Since we don't have any homework assignments just yet, so all you really need to do is to read the notes at least a little bit ahead of me. All right. So Are we ready? Okay, so we are getting back to binary numbers, addition and subtraction. All right, so this slide, is really just an overview, of binary numbers, as opposed to decimal numbers and the usual numbers that we deal with. This part here, I'm just going to point out where I'm looking at. So this part here, binary numbers are actually easy to understand. Blah 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 blah. It starts with our understanding of decimal numbers. In other words, if I give you a number, 1742, and tell you it is a decimal number, what is the value represented by that decimal number? 1,742. I mean, any kindergartner can answer that question. Well, maybe not. Maybe elementary school. Okay. But exactly what does that mean? It means it has 1,740 and 2. Okay. I'm looking at the first line. The second line breaks it up even further. It means it has 1,000, 7, 100, 4 tens, and then 2 ones. Okay, it's very obvious, right? I mean, there's nothing magical here. And then on line 3, it re-expresses all the quantities, but this time it's not using 1,000, 100, 10, and 1. It's using powers of 10. Okay, because 1,000 is 10 to the power of 3, and then 100 is 10 to the power of 2, and so on. So if you understand this part for decimal numbers, which I'm pretty sure the entire class should understand, binary numbers is really about the same, except we're dealing with a base of 2 instead of a base of 10. So if we interpret 10111110 as a base 2 number, we can rewrite that number just like this. Okay, it's 100000 plus 00000, and so on. And then the next step is to extract the multiplier from the quantity. So we have 1 of 100000, we have 0 of 10000, and so on, just like we did with the decimal number. In the third line, I think I made a mistake. No, I did not. Okay, in the third line, I re-expressed everything. This is not 10. This is 10 in base 2. And to the power of 5. Now the 5 is decimal, okay? Otherwise it's really hard to understand what it means. So this becomes 1 times 10 in base 2 to the power of 10, times 2 times 10 in base 2 to the power of 4, and so on. 10 is 2 in base 10, so this becomes 2 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of 4, and so on. 2 to the power of 5 turns out to be 32. 2 to the power of 4 is 16, but since we have 0 of those, we are putting a 0 here. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. We have 1 of those, and so on. And then when you add up all these numbers in decimal, you end up with 46, which is a decimal number representing that particular quantity. In other words, in this case, we have a single quantity that can be represented as 101110 in base 2 or 46 in base 10. Can anyone kind of quickly tell me what it would look like in base 16 in hexadecimal? Yeah, 46.